Ladies and gentlemen, I believe we are live. Welcome to the show. My name is Matt Morris. I am your host. Today, the Senate is going to be voting for the fifth time on whether or not to reopen the government. Now, we are having some technical difficulties today, so I appreciate everybody standing by. We just had the last broadcast crash out. I tweaked the settings. I think we're back. These are problems that are out of my control. So today we're doing a little bit of a workaround. So everybody, thank you for your patience. But folks, we don't need to linger on that. Everybody, thank you for your patience, though. The Senate is going to be voting on whether or not to reopen the government in the next 25, 30, 40 minutes. And so right now up on the big screen, you can actually see we have a live feed from inside of the Senate chamber in the United States Capitol. The senators are slowly trickling back in. They were on recess. They were on break. Of course, on the East Coast, it is about 5:51 on the East Coast, and they're going to be having this vote any minute now, really any minute now. They're slowly coming back on in. So I think today what we're going to do, I'm going to turn up the audio here for this broadcast, and I want to start listening into everything that they are saying. And of course, I've got a lot of other stuff. You guys know me. I've got other stuff we can talk about. There's a lot else going on around the country, but let's just start tuning in and see what they're saying. What is going on? Are we going to reopen this government or not? So bear with me one moment, folks. Let's dial in a little bit here, everybody.
Mr. Van Hollen, aye.
I believe the votes are coming in.
Mr. Cassidy, no. Mr. Grassley.
I'm going to try to find a live tracker here. How many votes this way, that way. Little bit scattered right now because I was having some pretty major tech issues. So everybody bear with me here. I'm going to try to kind of get back on the ball here. This show is not going exactly how I had planned for it to go because of this tech issue stuff. But you know what? I think it's going to be fine anyway. I think maybe I can find a live tracker with live updates.
Mr. Tuberville. No. Mr. Cornyn. No.
Yes, all of them are voting right now on whether or not to reopen the government. This is day number 6 of the government shutdown. We need 60 votes for the government to reopen. 60 in total. There are 53 Senate Republicans, which means that 7 Senate Democrats must swap over and vote alongside the Republicans. So far, 3 of them have done that.
Mrs. Shaheen, aye. Mrs. Blackburn, no. Ms. Blunt Rochester, aye.
What I'm scanning for right now, this is what I want. Bear with me, folks.
Mr. Cotton, no.
This is exactly what we wanted to see here. Thank you very much. This is where we are currently at. We have a live updating tracker. Yay 15, nay 27. It is 15:27. We need this yay to be 60. Yep, folks. Now we do have a yay nay counter.
Mrs. Shaheen, aye. Mrs. Blackburn, no. Ms. Blunt Rochester, aye.
And this is live updating. Now, you know what? I will tell you, the Senate operates in a very curious way sometimes.
Mr. Cotton.
There's a chance, oftentimes before the Senate actually has the official legitimate vote, sometimes they will do roll call votes or attendance votes, sort of testing votes. It's very methodical, very bureaucratic. there is a chance here that this actually is not the vote on whether or not to reopen the government. This might just be a roll call vote. I'm going to look around here for a minute. One moment here, folks. Like I said,
Mr. Johnson.
had some very annoying tech issues going live with today's broadcast, and things are kind of not going the way I wanted them to go right now. So I'm trying to kind of get a grip here. Thank you, folks, for bearing with me. Taking a look at all of our live feeds here. You can see that Forbes here, which is what we are tuning into, is actually just rebroadcasting another feed. They've just slapped their overlay on top of it. So what I'm curious to see is if I can find the feed that they are. This is it. I got it. I think this is a marginal improvement to the broadcast already. Okay, listen, we're making 1% improvement. If you make enough 1% improvements, then before you know, you've got 100% improvement. There you go. Okay, so this is the motion to invoke. This is what I wanted to see. Motion to invoke cloture on the motion to proceed to the consideration of S2882, the continuing appropriations and extension bill. One moment here, folks. I want to start getting some information on the screen here. You don't see me on Rumble. That's because I am not on Rumble today. There are Rumble tech issues. I am not on Rumble today. So really, if we can quickly talk about the tech issues I'm having today. Normally, I stream through a program called Rumble Studio. It's one upload, and then it streams from Rumble Studio to both Rumble.
Mr. Awesome.
To both Rumble and YouTube. Rumble Studio was having a huge number of technical errors today, and that's why my stream went up, and I'm not on Rumble, then the stream came down, and so I had to go live with the broadcast through a different means. And so I am not going to be live on Rumble today. That's just the way it is. I wish I was, but I'm not. There's a bunch of Rumble tech issues today. Now, with that being said, give me one moment here. But no, I'm not on Rumble for the day. I wish I was. I wish I was.
Mr. Hickenlooper, aye. Mr. Mullen. No. Ms. Hirono, aye. Mr. Thune.
I'm going to have some more
no.
information for you folks here in just a second. One moment here, please. Thank you, everybody. Hey, it's one of those days, okay? It is one of those days. I'm doing some deep dive research here into what exactly this vote is right now, and in what way does it relate to this government shutdown. I believe what they are voting on right now is actually not the government shutdown bill, but I want to know exactly what this is and how does it relate, and then also what is the exact Senate bill name of the government shutdown bill. The Senate, I don't know if you guys know this, both the Senate and the House are very complex, very procedural, very bureaucratic.
Mr. Ricketts, no.
You've got to have the vote before the vote to actually have the real vote. Then after you have the real vote, actually that was just a procedural vote. And then you can maybe, it's like, okay.
Mr. Fetterman, Mr. Fetterman, aye. Mr. Graham, no.
Okay, so folks, real quick. Senate Bill 2882 at the bottom here, 2882 is the continuing resolution, the continuing budget resolution that we need to vote on in order to reopen the government. So 2882 is the bill that has to pass with 60 votes to reopen the government. This is a this is, I mean, it is what it says. Motion to invoke cloture. Right now, this is the motion preceding the 2882 vote. We need to get to the 2882 vote, and right now they are voting to end the cloture vote, or to invoke cloture on the roll call vote before 2882. It's like, okay. So we are getting there in a very roundabout way. It's all very procedural and annoying. We're getting through this first. That's what's happening here. And then we're moving on to 2882. Which is the, I feel like that's very important information. I want to get that up there on screen because I know that people are going to keep on asking, and I know it's super annoying and complex, and it should not be, but it is. So,
Mr. Coons, aye. Ms. Cortez Masto, aye.
So bear with me here, folks. I'm going to type some stuff up on the big screen so we can all see exactly what the hell is going on. You know what, Suzu, I appreciate that. Today, if you guys want to be nice to me today, today's a good day for you guys to be nice to me. It's one of those days. Hey, Sue, I appreciate that.
Mr. Cruz,
Thank you very much. You're more than welcome to be nice to me today. You guys are always nice.
Mr. Markey.
You guys are always nice to me.
Aye.
It's a Monday. Now, whoa, I need to hold up here. What is going on? It is. Okay. So it is Senate Bill 2882. Okay. Is the CR needed to reopen the government?
Mr. Booker, aye. Mr. Bozeman, no.
I just want to get some of the basic information up on screen because, like I said, I know that this is all very complex.
Mr. Murphy. Aye. Mr. Bennett, aye.
I hear Ted Cruz.
Mr. Schmidt, no.
I hear Senator Ted Cruz.
Mr. Schatz, aye.
Perfect.
Mr. Sanders, aye. Mrs. Murray, aye. Ms. Baldwin, aye. Ms. Warren, aye. Mr. Warner, aye. Mr. Shipp.
There, that's
aye.
probably good. That probably
Mr.
helps
Lee.
everybody understand.
Mr. Lee, no.
So, folks, real quick, once again, what they are voting on right now, frankly, doesn't matter. This is a procedural vote to move on to the actual vote to pass the continuing resolution needed to reopen the government. which needs 60 votes. Now, I will make a little request here. Just don't spam the chat. I really, frankly, don't care a whole lot what you guys post in the chat, as long as you're not being too unhinged. But just don't spam it. You just don't need to spam it. Don't do that.
No.
You can post it once and relax a little bit for a couple minutes at least. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've never tuned in to a Senate vote like this, you're going to realize just how inefficient and bureaucratic and cumbersome and time-wasting this entire process is. When we talk about the inefficiency of the federal government, it's stuff like this. This is the vote before the vote to have the real vote, which is the fake vote. Then you can have the real vote, which is actually another procedural vote. And then it's like, okay. And they have to go through stuff like this every single time, so it's maybe not that, cumbersome, but it's pretty bad.
Mr. Whitehouse, Mr. Whitehouse. Aye.
Super chats here. Nicholas tunes in. He says, seeing the new CBS poll in which reps are being blamed more for the shutdown, I want to show that to you, actually. I've got that up on the screen ready to go. It's the Democrats' fault. I'm afraid people are being fooled by the fake media's propaganda, and the Democrats might win the 2026 midterms. Okay, let me find this. This is what I saw earlier today. I'll show you this right now because we have a minute here. Breaking, it was just revealed that a whopping 62% of Americans say Republicans and President Trump will win the government shutdown battle. Okay, so this is a different question than what you were talking about. So this is kind of non-related, but kind of related. This is not who is at fault for the shutdown. This is who's going to win this standoff. 62% say Republicans, 38% say Democrats. So you saw a poll or a survey saying that most Americans thought the Republicans were at fault for this. I haven't seen that. That's hard to imagine for me. What I have seen is that most Americans are blaming the Democrats, rightfully so, for the shutdown. I will tell you what, though. Once again, I think we all know this. I think we've all seen this time and time again. Is that first off, regardless of who is blamed for the shutdown, Americans have a very short political memory. Is anybody talking about anything that happened 3 or 4 months ago? Remember how big of a deal bombing Iran was? What is that, 3 months ago? Is anybody talking about that anymore? Does anybody care about that? Like, not really. That was the biggest news in the world, and we talked about it, of course. It was big news when it was happening, but 3 months later, is anybody talking about that? No. And so this is just kind of testament to, it's a 24-hour news cycle, or maybe a 7-day long news cycle at most for really big topics, and then people move on to the next thing. And so, it's really hard to say this is going to impact midterms or this is not going to impact midterms. Here's what I tell you. Here's what I'm telling you will actually verifiably 100% impact midterms. Is the Supreme Court in the next couple weeks, in the next 2 months, is going to be ruling on whether or not racially gerrymandered voting districts are constitutional. If racially gerrymandered voting districts are deemed unconstitutional, then the Democrats are set to lose 22 seats in the U.S. House of Representatives. That's the first thing that could fundamentally change the outcome of midterms in about a year and a half. Another thing is that President Trump right now, the Trump admin, they are gearing up to conduct another national census, which would remove illegal aliens from the national census. That would also change the dynamic and the outcome of midterms potentially to some degree. Another thing that's happening, it's already happening, Texas, other states are going to do this as well. You saw that Texas already changed 3 of their voting districts. The Democrats already lost 3 House seats in Texas, or they will be come midterms by nature of changing the district lines. Texas has said, all right, we on a state level, we are going to get rid of racially gerrymandered voting districts. And so all the projections I have seen is that the Republicans are not really at risk of losing the Senate. They might lose 1, maybe 2 Senate seats, probably not. But even if they do, Republicans still have the Senate anyway. They can afford to lose 1 or 2 of them. So the Senate is not really at risk. The House, 9 months ago, people really were worried about the House. The Republicans 9 months ago, they were projected to just barely lose the House. But if we're doing a new census, if we are redistricting, or rather overturning the racially gerrymandered districts, if the Supreme Court gets involved, it's game over for the Democrats. If Trump changes the census, or not changes, but conducts a new census, that's another big deal. I will say right now, of course, I have my personal bias. I do not want the Democrats to win midterms. That aside, I can kind of, I can take off my bias goggles and look objectively at the playing field. Things are not looking good for Democrats come midterms. I really genuinely believe that. We were talking about Polymarket. People right now are betting on whether or not the government stays closed or if it reopens. Only 3% of bettors on Polymarket are betting the government reopens in the next 3 days. So not a lot of people think the government is reopening in the next 3 days here. Most people, guys, people have bet $4.3 million on this. That's insane. There's $4.3 million betting volume here on when the government's going to reopen. 74% of that volume is October 15th or later. Not a lot of optimism here insofar as today's vote goes. That's what that means. But hey, we'll see. President Trump posted something here about an hour ago. President Trump said that there are currently negotiations ongoing with the Democrats. Maybe some deals have been made. I don't know. We got to see. You're right, though. Yeah, people bet on everything these days. People are betting on everything. In fact, I'll tell you something crazy. When I was a young, how old was I in 2016? I was 22. This was my first time voting in a presidential election. I voted for Trump. I have now voted for Trump 3 times. I was a young, broke college student. I took $100. To me, that was a lot of money. $100, I was 22, I was broke. I took $100 and I bet on Donald Trump in October of 2016. At this point, the odds were 5-1 that Hillary Clinton was going to win. I put $100 on Trump. I made I guess I made 400. I got that $500 back. I said, man. So that is actually the only time that I have ever placed a bet on anything. I'm not a sports bettor. I'm not a political bettor. I did one time. I put $100 on Trump in 2016. I made my money back. I made $400. That was the best bet of my life. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, that just goes to show people are betting on everything. Sports betting is a big deal these days.
Chosen and sworn not having voted in the affirmative, the motion is not agreed to. The clerk will report the motion to a vote cloture.
Cloture motion. We, the undersigned senators, in accordance with the provisions of Rule 22 of the Standing Rules of the Senate, do hereby move to bring to a close debate on the motion to proceed to calendar number 168, H.R. 5371, an act making continuing appropriations and extensions for fiscal year 2026 and for other purposes, signed by 17 senators.
By unanimous consent, the mandatory quorum call has been waived. The question is it the sense of the Senate that debate on the motion to proceed to H.R. 5371, an act making continuing appropriations and extensions for the fiscal year 2026 and for other purposes shall be brought to a close? The yeas and nays are mandatory under the rule. The clerk will call the roll.
Ms. Also-Brooks. Ms. Baldwin.
I need to fact check something real quick here.
Mr. Banks. Mr. Barrasso. Mr. Bennett. Mrs. Blackburn.
One moment here,
Mr.
folks.
Blumenthal. Ms. Blunt-Rochester. Mr. Booker. Mr. Bozeman. Mrs. Britt. Mr. Budd. Ms. Cantwell.
Okay, I apologize. I need to issue a little correction here, folks. And by the way, thank you, Southern Pecan, for kind of putting this thought in my head here. The Senate bill that is actually the actual name of this bill here that is needed to reopen the government is H.R. 5371.
Mr. Cassidy.
That changes everything. Okay. So, folks, the real vote that we're looking for here is H.R. 53, and you see it right there on the screen. Look at that.
Ms. Collins.
Proceed to H.R. 5371. It's all about 5371. By the way,
Mr. Cornyn.
Southern Pecan, thank you. Thank
Ms.
you very much.
Cortez
Good catch.
Masto.
Thank you. Thank you
Mr.
very much.
Cotton. Mr. Kramer.
Thank you, folks. It's a little bit of a crazy day here.
Mr. Crapo. Mr. Cruz.
Patrick Schroeder.
Curtis.
Thank you very much. Thank
Mr.
you very much.
Daines. Ms. Duckworth. Mr. Durbin. Ms. Ernst.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Fetterman. Mrs. Fisher.
So who do we spot out here? We've got, I think that's McConnell right there. I saw Ted Cruz walking around. There's John Thune, Senate. No, I think McConnell's right there. I think we got at the side of his head there. That's Thune. I saw Cruz walking around. We've got everybody. I mean, all of them are going to be in here today. And you've got the Democrat side and the Republican side. I even saw Elizabeth Warren, Senator Warren. You ever think about that, man? If that woman can become a senator, anybody can do it. If Elizabeth Warren can become a senator, Pocahontas, we call her Pocahontas. You can tell by her cheekbones, she's in the Senate. I saw her walking around here a minute ago. So we will see if this government reopens here. I think I might have even seen Lindsey Graham walking around somewhere here earlier. Oh, there's Ted Cruz in the blue suit. Blue suit, Ted Cruz right there. McConnell's a walking corpse. Yeah, McConnell, this is his last term. I believe he has publicly announced that he is done come 2026. How about Pelosi? Nancy Pelosi is a House rep. So she's in the House. This is the Senate. Pelosi has also been there forever. Can I show you guys a really crazy historical picture of Nancy Pelosi? This is going to blow your mind, this picture I'm about to show you. Just to really emphasize how long she has been in the game. This is a young Nancy Pelosi with, I kid you not, President Kennedy. This is Nancy Pelosi with Kennedy. She's been in the game, part of the Washington, D.C. swamp. This woman has been around for a long time. She's been here a while. That's Pelosi, but she's in the House. We're talking about the Senate today. You can fix her. I don't think so, man. And she's got a great husband, Paul. Paul Pelosi, I think is his name. She loves him. She loves him. Term limits here. I think everybody agrees. Yeah, we probably need term limits. The problem with that is that the people that would be voting to impose term limits are the people whose terms would be limited. They're never going to do that. They're not going to, limit their own power. There's Pocahontas. She's in the green, the teal blazer here, with her head down. There she is. So, folks, hey, today we might be reopening this government. I'll tell you what, though. If you take, I think this is pretty telling here. You take a look at the Polymarket betting odds. Only 3% of bettors. What do they know? Only 3% of bettors. Well, 3% of the betting volume. That's a better way to say that. Believe that this government is going to open between today and the 9th of October. Today is the 6th. 74% of the betting volume, $1.6 million, says, it's going to be open at some point after October 15th. Now, President Trump had a government shutdown during his first term, and I believe it was a 34-day long shutdown. I believe.
Britt, Bud, Cornyn, Cotton, Cruz, Daines, Fisher, Graham, Hawley, Husted, Hyde-Smith, Langford, McConnell, Mullen,
35
Ricketts,
days.
Sullivan, Tuberville, Wicker, and Young.
Actually, you know what? Fun fact, he actually had 3 shutdowns. I'll give you a little bit of a history lesson here. Some of you might remember. So Trump had a shutdown in 2018 for 3 days. It was a dispute over immigration and DACA protections. The Dreamers. And then just a month later, there was a shutdown for only a couple hours. It was an objection to budget deficit increase by Senator Rand Paul. And then there was the big one, the 35-day shutdown. That's what I was talking about. Stalemate over border wall funding. This was the longest shutdown in U.S. history in December of 2018. Yeah, all the way into January. In total, 39 days total. Wow. Listen, you folks remember during Trump's term, his first term, that is, it was not only Democrats, congressional Democrats, that were working against him. He had a lot of, dare I say, rhinos. A lot of rhinos in both the House and the Senate that were working against him. We had House Speaker Paul Ryan. He hated Trump, hated his guts, refused to work with him on anything. In fact, a little bit of a history lesson. I'm going to put some stuff into context here. After I tell you this, you're going to say, oh, wow, Matt, that makes so much sense. We recently passed the Big Beautiful Bill. Well, during the Big Beautiful Bill discussions a couple months ago, I heard a lot of people say, they were saying, well, why doesn't Trump try to pass a bunch of smaller bills? Why does it have to be this one big, massive bill, the Big Beautiful Bill? Why can't he try to pass 10 or 15 or 20 smaller bills? Well, that's what he tried to do the first time. Okay, the rhinos in Congress, the rhino Republican establishment, they said, hey, Trump, if you pass this rhino bill and that rhino bill and this rhino bill, after we pass these other rhino bills, then we'll get to your stuff, Trump. Then we'll give you the America First, the border funding, the wall, the border security. But let's pass all the rhino stuff first. Trump, he was new to D.C. He said, okay. They passed it. He signed off on it. And then they said, actually, yeah, we're not going to pass any of your stuff. Sorry, Trump, we lied. Get bent. Sorry. We're not going to fund the border. We're not going to fund ICE. We're not going to fund border protection. We're not going to do any of that. And so Trump, now he's back. Trump learned his lesson. He said, listen, if any of you people in Congress, in the House or the Senate, if you want anything from me, I'm the president, because he's the final say. He's got to sign off on it on the Resolute desk. He said, listen, I'm not making the same mistake. I'm not playing the same game I played the first time. If you guys want anything from me, if you want anything passed, because I'm the final say-so, we're doing a big bill and my stuff is in it. It's inarguable. If you want anything, my stuff has got to be a part of it. Thus the big bill. Thus the Big Beautiful Bill. And so there was a lot of deal making and the Big Beautiful Bill got passed. But, ideally, it would be a bunch of smaller bills, I guess, and we wouldn't have to have these massive, what was it, a 950-page long bill. But Trump kind of tried to do that the first time, and he got screwed over. So, thus, the Big Beautiful Bill. He said, if you guys want anything from me, my stuff is getting pushed through. The stuff that the American people voted for is getting pushed through. The America First agenda is getting pushed through. And that's exactly what happened. Thank God. And so that's that. I see this comment in the chat that says, you are evil, Matt. I'm really a pretty nice guy. Really, I'm a nice guy. I'm just an American. I'm a patriotic American. I don't want my country. Does it make me evil to not want my country to be overrun by illegal aliens? I don't think so. Does it make me evil to care about the American people? I have a wife. I have kids. I care about my country. I've got skin in the game, so to speak. I don't think I'm an evil person. I just love America. I love the people that made this country. I love the people that are currently in this country. I love all of us American citizens. I'm not evil. I'm just, you could call me an American chauvinist. I am an American chauvinist. I happen to hold America in very high regard. I do. I won't even deny that. Folks, they're having a little bit of an intermission here for about 4 minutes. It was originally a 15 minutes, so now we've got 4 minutes here. I wonder if there's anything I can show you folks here. Anything I can show you here? We had House Speaker Mike Johnson talking about this. I don't think we have time to play through all of that, though, right now, because we do have a couple minutes. Now, Stephen Miller was on CNN.
Mr. Risch, aye.
Stephen Miller made a little appearance on CNN earlier today talking about Portland. Take a look at this. We've got enough time for this one real quick.
Well, the administration will abide by the ruling insofar as it affects the covered parties. But there are also many other options the president has to deploy federal resources and assets under the U.S. military to Portland. But I was making the point that under federal law, Section Title 10 of the U.S. Code, the president has the authority anytime he believes federal resources are insufficient to federalize the National Guard to carry out a mission necessary for public safety. So it's important to understand that in Portland, ICE officers have been subjected to over 100 nights of terrorist assault, doxing, murder threats, violent attack, and every other means imaginable to try to overturn the results of the last election through violence. The most important point I want to make today is that the number 1 and 2 items in the GOP platform in 2024 were to turn back the border invasion and carry out the largest deportation program in American history.
That is right.
Since Inauguration Day, there's been an orchestrated campaign of terrorism and violence against ICE officers. Of course, we saw the recent sniper attack against ICE officers. They're publishing their families' photos online. They're threatening them with murder. They're threatening them with death. And they're physically attacking them in the street each and every day. And yet, shamefully, the mayor and governor in Portland and Oregon have refused to render aid.
You know what I've seen? This is actually becoming a common enough talking point amongst members of the progressive left. And the talking point is this. Every time President Trump is in the White House, first term, second term, the nation is on fire. There's protesters and rioters and violence. And this is what happens when Trump is in office. The nation goes up in a flame. Well, listen, who's committing the violence? Who's rioting? Who's causing all the civil mayhem and chaos? Who's doing it? Because it's not Republicans. Trump is not responsible for the reaction of all of the far left radically progressive freaks. He's not responsible for. So if the argument is there's all this mayhem because of Trump, no, it's you guys are the one doing it. It's the far left domestic terrorists, the illegal. It's them that are doing it. You can't, it's like I can't punch you in the face and then say, look what you made me do. I'm the one that punched you, So just absolutely ridiculous. It's insane, absolutely ridiculous. Folks, in the Senate here, we've got another 1 minute and 10-second long intermission here. And then I believe we're going to be moving on to the actual continuing resolution, the budget continuing resolution vote. 53, House Res 5371. I'll break down the dynamic at play here. In order to reopen the government, for those of you that don't know, this House Resolution 5371 needs 60 votes to pass. Every single Republican in the Senate is voting for it. That's 53 of them. They've got 53 votes. You need 60. Okay? Which means 7 in total. 7 Senate Democrats have got to hop over and vote alongside the Republicans to reopen the government. We've already seen 3 of them do that during the last vote, which was on Friday, I believe, maybe Thursday. This continuing resolution has been voted on 4 times. It has failed 4 times. This is the 5th time they're voting on it. And so, like I said, we've got 3 Democrats that have already hopped over. What does that mean? We need 4 more to hop on over. One of the 3 was John Fetterman. Fetterman says he doesn't want anything to do with this. He just wants the government to be open. So we'll see what happens today. This is Q. He says, I want to give you a monthly 100. Listen, Q, hey, I just appreciate you are here every single day. I appreciate it. Patriots are in control. Oh, look at that. It's Schiff. There he is. Look at his big pineapple head. This guy belongs in a prison cell. You know the type of stuff this guy does. You got to get him out of the Senate. Unbelievable. Adam Shifty Schiff, he's walking around. Somebody said they saw oh, it's Bernie Sanders. There he is right there. Bernie Sanders, listen, buddy, open up the government, man. Mr. Sanders, open up the government. Schiff, open up the government. There's Thune, there's McConnell. I think that's Lindsey Graham's back at us right there. No, I appreciate that. Listen, really sincerely, I'm never gonna ask you guys to donate or anything, really. Of course, if you do, I appreciate that. Every super chat I really do appreciate, but really, I just want to put on a good show. I'm happy you guys enjoy it, and if you like the video, subscribe to it. It's all free. That's enough for me. I'm not a greedy guy. Patriot Dad, he chimes in. He says, my name is Matt also. Never met a Matt I didn't like. True. Every Matt is a good Matt. Single dad for 18 years in Hellenios. Impeach Pritzker. Keep up the good work. Listen, us Matts got to stick together. Hey, thank you very much. And good job holding it down also. Sincerely. Thank you and good job. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. There's $100 from Q. There's 100 from Q. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. I really, really do appreciate that. Thank you very much. Folks, I'm gonna stop yapping. I'm gonna turn this up a little bit because that intermission now is over. I think the votes are gonna be happening here pretty soon. Q, thank you very much. We are in control. And based. I'm active and this sucks not getting paid. Fingers crossed for them to figure it out. Love your work. Yeah, I mean, it's just so ridiculous. Every single one of these Democrat hypocrites has railed and railed and railed. Shutdowns are bad for 20 or 30 or 50 years. Shutdowns are bad. The shutdown is bad. Yeah, it is. Okay, then why did you do it? Then why did they shut down the government? They did. We know what's going on here. So just open it. So then open it. President Trump gave a special random surprise press conference in the White House during the afternoon. I missed it. I don't know if you guys saw it. It wasn't even scheduled. He just went live in the Oval Office today. And what he said was that he, take a look at this. President Trump says that he is willing to invoke the Insurrection Act if necessary. He says, I would do it if necessary. We have an Insurrection Act for a reason. If people were being killed, courts, governors, mayors hold us up, sure, I'd do that. We have to make sure our cities are safe. So I'll tell you, you can kind of see where this is going. The Trump administration, all of them, Stephen Miller, Pam Bondi, Trump, J.D. Vance, they've been using that word insurrection a lot. Insurrection, it's an insurrection, insurrection, insurrection. The reason why is because that is a very precisely, rigidly defined word that has constitutionally defined implications. If you can make the case that this is an insurrection or that is an insurrection, then that opens up, you get to use the Insurrection Act, you get to hold people criminally accountable in a new, different way, in accordance with the Constitution.
Mr. Markey, no.
And so, I think the Trump administration might kind of be building that case, moving in the direction of saying, yeah, this is an insurrection. Now, by the way, little reminder, this is exactly, well, kind of similar to what the Democrats tried to do following January 6th. You ever think about this? I'm going to, shine some light on this. For 3.5 years, the Democrats pushed the narrative that Donald Trump was an insurrectionist, that Donald Trump fomented insurrection January 6th. It was for 3.5 years, insurrection, 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 insurrection. Why did they do that? That's a very specific word. It's not accidental that the entire left-wing establishment was pushing the insurrection narrative. They did that intentionally. Why? Rewind. I think a lot of people didn't pay attention to this. I'll clue you in. Early on in the Republican primary of 2024 Republican primary, when Donald Trump is trying to lock in his candidacy to become the Republican candidate, the state of Colorado was the testing ground. What happened in Colorado during the Republican primary? The state of Colorado tried to make the case on a state level that because Donald Trump was an insurrectionist, they were able to kick him off of the state ballot, meaning people can't vote for him. This got escalated to the Supreme Court. By the way, there were at least 3 other blue states that were sitting on the sidelines waiting to do the same thing that Colorado was actively trying to do. Colorado was the testing ground. Oregon was waiting. Washington was waiting. Maine was waiting. I remember clearly. I'm sure others as well. Now, what they did in Colorado, insurrectionist, kick him off the ballot. This got escalated to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court actually voted against what Colorado tried to do in a 9-0 decision. You'll notice something. The second the Supreme Court shot down Colorado's insurrection angle to remove him from the ballot, what did the Democrats do? The Democrats never spoke about the insurrection ever again. The entire insurrection narrative that they yapped and yapped and yapped about for 3.5 years, The second the Supreme Court shot that down over Colorado, they completely stopped talking about it. Overnight, boom, they never even mentioned it again. It's a little bit curious. Why? It's because it was a dead agenda. Their entire plan to paint him as an insurrectionist and then stop him from running again, becoming president, kick him off the ballots. It got shot down by the Supreme Court. It was a dead agenda. There's no point in talking about it anymore. The second that 9-0 Supreme Court ruling came through the pipeline, shooting that down, done. They moved on to something else. It was an entire 3.5-year-long psyop is what they tried to do. Got shot down. But let the record show their goal was to paint him as an insurrectionist and then systematically remove him from the ballots in every single state, as they tried to do in Colorado first, so that all of us Americans couldn't even vote for him. They tried to subvert democracy, really. They tried to undermine the democratic will of the American people. They failed, thank God. But that was their plan. That was obviously very clearly their plan. That was the agenda. And they primed it up. They spent 3.5 years building that up. And then it failed, thank God. Now, any minute now, they are going to be voting for this continuing resolution. It's called H.R. 5371. This will be voted on any minute now. They're getting ready here. They're going to vote on this. If it gets 60 votes, by the way, this vote right here, this is the roll call vote. Ignore that. They are not voting on it yet. I feel like I almost even want to like cover that up so people aren't misunderstanding what's going on right now, because it is a little bit confusing. I understand, no doubt it is. They have not begun voting yet. Maybe I should put another little text banner up here so people know. maybe I will do that. Just so people know. Whoa, that's big, sorry. One-man production team here. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. It's a one-man operation here, apologies. And,
Mr. Marino, aye. Mr. Schmidt, aye. Mr. Johnson, aye.
It's so big, I'm sorry.
Mr. McCormick, aye.
There we go. You know, maybe I'll just, like, cover that up. It's probably just worth covering that up for now, because it just doesn't matter, and I just don't want people to be confused with what's going on here.
Mr. Marshall, aye. Ms. Lummis, aye. Mr. Crapo, aye. Mr. Bozeman, aye. Mrs. Blackburn,
I'll put it right above.
Aye.
I'll leave that there, though. Yeah, folks, once again, I see people asking about the Rumble broadcast. I was having some technical difficulties with Rumble today, so that is not happening. Regrettably, I wish it was. Hopefully the problems are...
Mr. Scott of Florida.
Fixed tomorrow.
Aye. Mrs. Moody, aye.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting some breaking news that Alex Jones now has a Hitler mustache. Yep, that sure looks like a Hitler mustache. Excellent. Excellent, all right. Breaking news. Okay. There you have it. President Trump has just now said that P. Diddy is asking for a pardon.
Mr. Scott of South Carolina, aye.
You think you should give P. Diddy a pardon? I don't think so. Now, folks, take a look at this. This is what I'm seeing. I'm going to mute the audio here for a second. You've got fake news out here like this. Breaking 911 news says, breaking, Senate proposal to end the government shutdown fails. No. Listen, everybody's lucky. We're tuning in here. We're all covering this together. The vote to end the shutdown has actually not happened. So whoever is operating this big Twitter page, look at this page. They've got 1.2 million followers. They're out here spreading fake news. 1.2 million. The vote to end the shutdown hasn't even happened yet. They probably took a look at this at the procedural vote beforehand and said, "Oh, it failed" or whatever. No. It hasn't even happened yet. Fake news alert. Fake news. To be fair, it is incredibly cumbersome and complex. It is very easy to misunderstand.
Mr. Van Hollen, no.
It's very easy to misunderstand what's going on. But we are here in the real news zone. We got the real news. So, to kind of explain what the deal is here, the continuing resolution, aka the bill that must pass for the government to reopen, the continuing resolution, it's this budget bill. It is called HR 5371. That is what it is called. Right now, they are stalling and wasting time. They have a series of procedural votes. This is right now what we are watching is the motion to invoke cloture on the motion to proceed to the consideration, which is the vote of HR 5371, aka the Continuing Appropriations and Extensions Act. So that vote that we saw, that was we have to go through 3 or 4 different procedural votes. Step A, B, C to get to step D. Step D is the actual vote to pass the Continuing Appropriations and Extension Act, which is this budget. It's very, you gotta do all of it. You know how it goes. You gotta have the fake vote for another fake vote for maybe a third fake vote before you gotta have the real vote. Complex, very complex, too complex if you ask me. Yeah. It's a bit much. And what you'll also notice, I've watched a couple of these now. You know, sometimes they have these break times. We just saw they had a 15-minute, little break here. Well, they don't really abide by that. Now this has ended up becoming a 20 or 30-minute break. They just take as much time as they want. Now, folks, I will say real quick, if you folks enjoy the daily news updates, really, it does help a lot. I'm never going to beg for super chats or donations. However, if you want to like the broadcast and subscribe to the channel, that really does help. Subscribing and liking the video, that really does help a lot. So,
Mr. Schumer, no.
Mr. Schumer. Oh, there he is. There's Chuck Schumer. He crawled out of his sulfur pit. Now the entire room stinks. And there he is. And there he is. Chuck Schumer. He's freaking out. Mr. Schumer. Now time will tell, folks. There he's up there ready to speak. He's ready to go. I think things might be happening here in a minute. We might get some action here soon. The old lizard. Schumer, how old is Schumer, actually? I think he's 76. I believe Chuck Schumer... 74. He's 74. He was born in 1950. 1950. Chuck Schumer. I know he was in the House for a long time, and now he's a senator. Schumer the Boomer. Yep, that's right. That's right. That guy, he says, you will take my super chat and you will like it. You handsome man. Another Matt here too, by the way. Is everybody here today named Matt? Do we have 20,000 people named Matt? I'm starting to think that. Hey, thank you. Hey, thank you very much. The Matt army is rising up. Us Matts are taking over. Thank you very much. I appreciate that a lot. I appreciate that. You think Schumer's 130 years old? Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Not exactly shocking. Yep. See, yep. Everybody's name is Matt. Oh boy, you guys are not gonna believe this. Do you folks remember Olivia Giuliana? Is her name? Can I zoom in on this? Olivia Giuliana. She was the DNC's political strategist who was tasked with getting young men back on board with the Democrats. Hey, young man, I know you don't think Democrats are cool, but I'm Olivia Giuliana. You got to come back over. Being a progressive is so cool and badass. So she failed at her task. She completely failed. And now she is she's hinting at launching a congressional campaign for Texas's 38th congressional district. And if you don't vote for her, she will probably eat you. She'll eat you alive. Like some type of ancient mythological beast. She will eat you alive. So I might, hey, you might just have to vote for her because I don't know, it's not worth the risk. I don't know about that. Careful. I'm not. It's not my district. Now any minute this vote's happening here. Vape Chief.
On this vote, the yeas are 52 and the nays are 42. 3/5 of the Senate duly chosen and sworn not having voted in the affirmative. The motion is not agreed to.
Doesn't matter.
Mr. President, I enter a motion to reconsider.
The motion is entered.
Mr. President,
Democratic leader.
I enter a motion to reconsider the cloture vote on the motion to proceed to calendar S 2882, calendar 167.
The motion is entered.
Entered. Motion is entered.
The clerk will report the motion to invoke cloture.
Cloture motion. We, the undersigned senators, in accordance with the provisions of Rule 22 of the Standing Rules of the Senate and the provisions of S.Res. 412 from the 119th Congress, do hereby move to bring to a close debate on executive calendar numbers 62, 86, off, 92, 126.
Mr. President, I ask consent to waive the reading of the numbers.
Without objection.
Signed by 17 senators.
With consent, the mandatory quorum call has been waived. The question is it the sense of the Senate that debate on the unblocked nominations provided for under the provisions of S.Res. 412 shall be brought to a close? The yeas and nays are mandatory under the rule. The clerk will call the roll.
Ms. Alsobrooks, Ms. Baldwin, Mr. Banks, Mr. Barrasso. Thank you.
So what does that mean? That means that cloture vote that they just had, where it was 53-47, whatever it was, it actually doesn't matter. They're just going to move on anyway. We just spent a half hour voting on something that actually did not matter. It doesn't matter. The outcome had no impact. We're moving on anyway. You got to love the Senate.
Okay. Thank you. Ossoff, Kelly,
Now,
Hagerty.
and now we have another 15-minute break. Oh, good Lord. Oh, Lord. Okay. Here's the deal. You know, I see a lot of people saying, and I agree, that if the government is shut down, that none of these people should be receiving paychecks. I agree, but you guys know I'm a little bit radical. I go a step further. I think they actually owe me money. I think I think all of them, us. I think they owe us money. So every day, not only are they not getting paid, they lose their paycheck. I think they actually owe the taxpayers money I don't know how much every day the government is shut down, they have to pay $1,000 or I don't know, $1 million, $1 million a day. I know Nancy Pelosi can afford it. And so it's like, come on, you guys got to get a grip here. This is just absurd. Give me money. You owe me money, Nancy Pelosi. Listen, Chuck Schumer, you need to give me money right now.
I got you.
So, folks, we've got 13 minutes where we know for a fact that they are not going to do anything. So why don't we take a look around the world and see what's going on? This is a couple hours ago, House Speaker Mike Johnson chimed in. He gave his thoughts on this entire dynamic. We'll take a look at this.
Yes, sir, because you're standing up. Go ahead.
Jeffrey just challenged you to a debate on the House floor today. Do you see yourself debating him, or would you be
when the poll says that about 13% of the people approve of your messaging, then you make desperate pleas for attention, and that's what Hakeem Jeffries has done. Look, my friend Hakeem had his shot. We debated all this on the House floor, as you know, before we passed our bill. He spoke for 7 or 8 minutes. He had all of his colleagues lined up. They gave it their best shot, and they argued, and they stomped their feet and screamed at us and all that. And still, we passed the bill in bipartisan fashion and sent it over to the Senate. The House has done its job. I'm not going to let Hakeem try to pretend for these theatrics. I mean, this is a Chuck Schumer decision. The ball is in the Senate's court now. The House has done this. We don't need to waste time on that nonsense. Those debates have been had. Colleague's a friend. I mean, Hakeem is a friend and a colleague. I respect him, but we all know what he's trying to do there.
Hakeem is an absolute incompetent, knuckle-dragging moron. I know he has to be professional. They're technically co-workers. I understand. House Speaker, House Minority Speaker, I understand. I'm not in politics. I'm just a guy sitting in my office right now. Hakeem Jeffries probably has an IQ of 81. He's a complete drooling, knuckle-dragging moron. It is astounding that he actually made his way into the House and is the House Minority Speaker. I think it really speaks volumes to the current state of the Democratic Party. Astounding, truly, really. Now, Patriot Dad, he has another super chat here. I don't have to be professional. I'm just a guy. Patriot Dad, thank you very much. He says, I am a government contractor. Luckily, I'm working. Wages are paid until January. Now, there are a lot of government jobs, contract jobs, depending on the type of contract you have, that are actually prepaid. A lot, in fact, a little bit of a funny tangent here. When the government first shut down 5 or 6 days ago, I saw a lot of Democrats on the internet, on Twitter and Facebook. They were saying, government shutdown. All right, Chuck Schumer shut down the government. This means that the ICE agents and the DHS and the Border Security, Border Patrol, those guys aren't going to go to work anymore, which means the border is open now and nobody's getting deported. All right, let's go. Let's shut down the government. Well, actually, the big, beautiful bill, Trump outsmarted all of these people. Okay. The big, beautiful bill allocates 12 months worth of budget preemptively for all of those services: ICE, DHS, CBP, Border Patrol, Customs, Immigration Enforcement. Okay. So this government could remain shut down for another 12 months, and all of those folks, those fine American patriots, would continue working and getting paychecks. It's all good. Trump predicted their next play. I know the joke is that Trump is playing 5-dimensional chess against these people, but in this case, it was actually kind of 5-dimensional chess. But the super hilarious thing was, for the first 12 hours of the shutdown, the Democrats were taking credit for it because they thought that this was their genius strategy to shut down ICE. And then once they realized that the ICE budget was already locked in 12 months in advance, then on a dime, they switched from, it's our lockdown, we outsmarted Trump, we shut down the government. They pivoted, they flipped. I can't believe President Trump shut down the government. Us Democrats, we've done everything we could do to keep this government open, and it's the Republicans that shut it down. They flipped on a dime. Do you remember that? The first 12 hours of this shut, just 6 days ago. They thought nope. Totally incompetent. The rhetoric, the narrative switched immediately once they realized how dumb they were being. Now that's I think, do we have time for this here? I think we probably do. This is probably worth watching. Now, House Speaker Mike Johnson, he I guess he just roasts Chuck Schumer here. Take a look at this.
I had this on my desk in a big stack, and I found it. This is published March of 2025. March 26th exactly. It's a picture of Chuck Schumer looking very upset, very angry, walking out with a box, and all the House Democrats depicted their character, saying that he's an enemy of democracy. Why is he an enemy of democracy? Because the far left base in the Democrat Party has turned on Chuck Schumer because he did the responsible thing, get the lights on. Why? Because they want him to show a fight against President Trump. So Schumer doesn't want to be in this situation again. So he said, my gosh, he got his staff together and he got the far left wing of the party. He said, what do you want? What do you want me to fight on? So they created a red herring. A red herring is a distraction. They decided that they would pick a fight on health care. Well, let me look right into the camera and tell you very clearly, Republicans are the ones concerned about health care. Republicans are the party working around the clock every day to fix health care. This is not talking points for us. We've done it. A big part of the One Big Beautiful Bill, the Working Families Tax Cut, was to fix health care. Health care is broken in America. It's too expensive. The quality of care needs to rise. We need more access for more people, and we have lots of ideas to do that. But that issue is for debate in the next 3 months. It always was. We have members working on that. The tax credit, the subsidy you've heard about that expires December 31st, there's a lot of thoughtful debate and discussion.
By the way, real quick, just so everybody knows who to be mad at and who to not be mad at, the House Republicans, you guys know I like to be critical of them. I'm not shy about being critical of the House Republicans or the Congressional Republicans. You know me. They did their job. Mike Johnson, the House Republicans here, they did their job. They did successfully pass this continuing resolution through the House. Now, they had a majority, so it wasn't really too hard for them to do that, but they did. And now it's in the Senate. It is in the Senate now, which is where Chuck Schumer has held it up. So to Mike Johnson's credit here, he did do his job. He has done his job.
That has already been going on about that and will go on about that. But that's a December 31 issue. So Chuck Schumer is scrambling. He has to have an issue. None of their policies are very popular. So they decided to lob onto health care. And he decided to claim to all of you that is the issue with government funding. It is not. Those are two totally separate things. The clean continuing resolution would simply keep the lights on so that the members in the House and Senate can have those debates on health care. We were always planning, and we have lots of ideas on the table on how to fix it, but we don't yet have consensus on it because it's very complicated. We have time to do it. The month of October is a critically important time for us to get the House and Senate working on that very issue, but they're delaying it.
Real quick, I see folks tuning in. Looks like they are going to be voting in 6 minutes. They're having the real... But, well, potentially. So the answer, it's a very complex procedural process. They have not had the vote yet. There's a chance they will be having the vote in 6 minutes. There's a chance. But no, the actual vote has not happened yet. By the way, I'm not on Rumble today because I was having Rumble technical difficulties. We will be back on Rumble tomorrow, but not today. I hate to say, I apologize.
Because they needed a red herring. So in his desperation, we get to fact number 3. In his desperation, they decided to create the red herring. They decided to claim that this is all about health care, which the September funding issue never was. That's a December policy issue. He tried to create it as a September funding issue. And in his desperation, they hastily filed an outrageous counter proposal. It is a wild wish list of big government liberal nonsense that we can't do. Their priorities that they crammed into this. Now remember,
I mean, if we can just condense this entire discussion down, why is the government shut down now? It's because Chuck Schumer and the congressional Democrats are trying to extort $1.5 trillion out of all of us American taxpayers to pay for the healthcare costs of illegal aliens. That's fundamentally what's going on here. The Trump administration, the congressional Republicans have said, no, that's a red line in the sand. We are not paying for that. We are not going to pass a budget with you, Chuck Schumer, that will pay for the health care of illegal aliens, or that will reopen the border, or that will subsidize the existence of these people that shouldn't be here to any degree whatsoever. We're not doing that. And so the government is shut down. There is a clean budget continuing resolution. Just a little bit of a history lesson here. The budget that President Trump has had so far in the first 9 months of his presidency is actually the budget that Joe Biden and the Democrats created in 2024. It was first pushed into effect in March of 2024. Chuck Schumer fought tooth and nail to create that budget, get it passed through with the Biden administration and the congressional Democrats. That budget has still ultimately been in effect until now. They're trying to effectively continue that budget for another couple weeks, so to give them time to come up with a new budget. But Chuck Schumer has decided, no, I know that I helped create that budget. I know that I originally signed on to that budget. I know that this is originally a Democrat budget, but we are not going to vote for this. Even though he has already voted for it multiple times over the last year and a half, he's not going to do that now, because now he has decided that he wants to try to extort money out of the American tax people to pay for health care for illegal aliens. And that's where he is. And so what Mike Johnson here, Speaker of the House, was just kind of breaking down for us was that the reason why Chuck Schumer has switched on this budget, he's changed his mind, and now he's decided he's going to shut down the government, is because he's got pressure from the far left. Chuck Schumer, believe it or not, I mean, he is far left, but there are many people amongst the Democrat Party, amongst the congressional Democrats, that are much further to the left than he is. For instance, AOC. The reason I mention AOC specifically is because Chuck Schumer is very, very scared that the Democrat Party has shifted so far to the left that now he is not radically left enough, and that he's going to get replaced by somebody like AOC. Chuck Schumer has shut down the government because he is scared of AOC replacing him and primarying him for his Senate seat. I believe in 2028 is when he's back up for re-election. So the reason Chuck Schumer has shut down the government, he's screwing over all these Americans. I see people in the chat, they're saying, I'm a government worker, I'm not getting my paycheck. The reason why you are not getting a paycheck right now, and I saw some super chats that were talking about that, is because Chuck Schumer is scared of AOC kicking him out of the Senate in 2028. That is really fundamentally why all of this is happening. Chuck Schumer is trying to, fight back against President Trump and show the progressive Democrats just how resistant he is to President Trump's authoritarian regime, whatever. He's trying to prove how woke he is. He's trying to prove how progressive he is. And so the way he's doing that is to shut down the government. And that really is what is happening. Now, you can see all these senators, they have actually left the Senate chamber. They've got another 90 seconds. They better get back in here. They've got 90 seconds before they need to come in here and vote. Motion to invoke cloture on the nominations included in Senate Resolution 412 en bloc. So that is not what's coming up next. That's what this just was. So we are going to see in about 60 seconds here, folks, the number that we want to see down here on the bottom is HR 5371. HR 5371. That's what we want to see. HR 5371. So we are going to see if that's what they're voting on next here. Come on. We've just had a procedural vote after procedural vote after procedural vote. And for those of you that have tuned into this process before, that is how they do it. That's just the way that it is. The Senate, both the Senate and the House, are very inefficient, cumbersome, bureaucratic. Takes a long time to do anything. Very procedural. It's over, Matt. Wake up. I'm awake. No, to be very clear, folks, the vote has not happened yet. I don't know if anybody is saying that it has. It has not. The senators have not voted on the bill that they need to vote on to either reopen the government or to keep the government shut down. The vote has not happened yet. So we are still kind of on standby here. We're going to see what's coming up here. And by the way, yeah, just to put the numbers out here, in order to reopen the government, 60 of these senators need to vote on it to reopen the government. The Republicans only have 53 votes, so we're looking for 7 House Democrats. This is roll call. Guys, I'm telling you, the amount of fake news I'm seeing out here. Breaking news, Senate Democrats yet again block opening the federal government. Voting down the Republican. Well, let me take a look here. Well, let me take a look here. I do not believe that was the vote. Oops, my bad. One moment here. I do not believe that that was the vote. You know what? You know what may have happened here? Right under our noses.
Mrs. Blackburn, aye.
So, I believe what has happened here is that although they did not actually have the vote to reopen the government, they did have the vote to get to the vote to reopen the government, which failed. Which means they are not going to have the vote on whether or not to reopen the government, because the vote to get to the vote to reopen the government, they did not push through. Unbelievable. They didn't even get there. That is effectively what happened. Two proposals to fund the government, one from the Democrats and one from the Republicans. Both failed in the Senate tonight. It is just so strange the way they do this. They didn't even get to the vote. They had to meet a certain threshold to even get to the actual vote, and they did not meet the threshold to get there. Truly just absolutely astounding here. It really is just astounding. Little further information here. John Fetterman of Pennsylvania, Nevada's Catherine Cortez Masto, as well as Angus King of Maine, are Democrats that voted with the Republicans. Doesn't matter. Did not. It's like they didn't even get to the finish line in order to get to the real in order to unlock the real finish line. These people get paid. Yeah, they get paid either way. You don't, though, if you're a federal employee. A lot of you. Truly astounding. Day 6 of the government shutdown. The stalemate over how to end the government shutdown is stretching into yet another week without a clear resolution in sight as both parties trade blame for the funding lapse. Two dueling measures to fund the government and end the shutdown failed in the Senate for a fifth time. So, of course, you know, the Democrats, led by Chuck Schumer, they have their own funding bill, which includes all of this money for illegal alien health care. That is obviously not getting passed, but they're trying to vote for it anyway. They did that about an hour ago, got shot down. And then they had another vote, which was it's a vote to unlock the real vote for the continuing resolution, which failed. So, in effect, both budget votes failed. Continue the layoff. Yeah. Folks, yes or no? Do we need to see some more federal layoffs? Well, now here is what I would like to see that I haven't seen anybody reporting on right now. I'm going to try to dig into this. When are they having the next vote? When is the next vote going to be happening? That's what I would like to know now. Perhaps they don't even have a date set. I'm reading October 7th, which is tomorrow, at 10 a.m. Eastern, according to the Senate's published schedule. I'll tell you something here. It will be very curious to see who cracks here. I have a hard time imagining that President Trump and the congressional Republicans, the Trump administration, they are going to agree to any of the Democrats' demands. What are the demands? Funding healthcare for illegal aliens. Does that sound like something Trump is going to agree to? I don't think so. I think the only way we come out of the shutdown here is if the Democrats completely and totally capitulate to President Trump. Of course, people are betting on this. This is Polymarket. You've got a grand total of $4.4 million in trading volume being bet on when the government is going to reopen. 70% of that trading volume is bet on October 15th or later. Listen, hey, the betting money is that we're going to be shut down for another 9 days, 10 days at a minimum. Now, I'm going to tell you something here, folks. I'm going to say something a little bit crazy. I think you're going to like this. First, I should take a look at Super Chats. This is from Trojan Alum. He says, Cortez massive voting political expediency because she is up for re-election. And so what does that mean? That means that she knows this is incredibly unpopular. And it is. Everything I've seen indicates that Americans are correctly and properly blaming the Democrats for this. And she must know that. So thank you, by the way. Q, wow. You did it again. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. He says, here's 100 for your family. God bless you and your family. I made bucks today. Ricky Wally. He's out here making bucks. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate that. It means a lot. Thank you very much. I'm going to say something a little bit crazy here, Q. I think you're probably going to like this. Craig Custer says, hope Trump tells Russ Vogt to get busy. Yeah, you know, what I'm about to say ties into that. You know, if the Senate Democrats want to play games like this, if they want to screw people over like this and you know, mess with people's livelihoods like this in order to fund illegal alien healthcare, this is what I think they should do. I think Trump and the Senate Republicans, I think they should go nuclear, meaning that they would, going forward, be able to pass whatever bill they want with a simple majority of 51 votes in the Senate, which they have. Go nuclear. The government is shut down. Fine, so be it. We are going to pass one new one-page bill a day, every day, until this government is open, or maybe just in perpetuity until Trump is out of the White House, and really ultimately save the country. I think now they should just go nuclear. Go nuclear. Drop the threshold down from 60 to 51. 50 plus the vice president. Really only need 50. We have the vice president. He's a tiebreaker, J.D. Vance. And just save the country. Just go nuclear. Push through 7 new one-page bills every single week. Save the country. Save the nation. If these freaks are not going to work with us to do it, so be it. Now, the only counter-argument against this, and I don't think it's a particularly good one, but this is the argument nonetheless, is that, well, if the Republicans go nuclear and drop the vote threshold,
no.
Drop the vote threshold down from 60 to 51, what that means is that the next time the Democrats have the House, Senate, and the White House, that they will likewise only have to have 51 votes, or rather 50 votes in the Senate. So what if it comes back to bite us in the ass? They're going to use our own new rules against us in the future someday. Could be 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, who knows, but they might. Well, they've already said that they will. They've already gone on the record. They have promised that they will do that. Chuck Schumer, various other congressional Democrats have already said, Joe Biden was talking about this, they will do that. We already know that they will do that. If they get back in the House, Senate, White House, they have told the American people they will go nuclear. Whether or not we go nuclear, they have said that they will go nuclear. They've already said that they will. And so it's like, listen, save the country. By the way, who were the first ones? Who really started going nuclear in the first place? The first time the nuclear option was ever invoked, it was by the Democrats. And the second time, too. The first two times, it's kind of a recent phenomenon. The Democrats were the first ones to really use this mechanism. And they've already gone on the record saying that they're going to do it again. And so, you know what? Do it. Go nuclear. Save the country. Take the country back. They're going to do it anyway. Let's just pass so much legislation. We have the House. We have the Senate. We have the mandate from the American people. We have the White House. We've got Trump. We have all this momentum. We have the national mandate. Listen, let's do it. Let's pass so much legislation that is aimed at pushing forward the America First agenda that they will never be able to undo the damage and to undo the good that we have done. They will never be able to do the damage that they did again, that they really did under the Biden era. So that's my unprofessional opinion, I suppose. That's what I can say. That's what I would like to see. And you know what? Maybe they will do that. Maybe they will. There's also the other part of me that is like, the other part of me is like, you know, it would be worth doing just because of the absolute total meltdown. You know, they would be absolutely melting down. That alone is worth it. Now, I see this comment here. Candy Venom says, stop with the Democrat hate. It's not Republicans versus Democrats. It's good versus evil. Matt has completely lost the plot. I'm sorry, were you not paying attention 3.5 weeks ago when Charlie Kirk was assassinated and the overwhelming majority of Democrats were celebrating the violence? They were having parties. They were cheering it on. In fact, they were calling for more violence. Likewise, at the same time, following the assassination, following every single politically motivated attack, Republicans are condemning it. You are right insofar as there is a battle of good versus evil, and the Democrat Party has been hijacked by such a large degree by the radical far left, the anti-American far left, that they are evil. They are evil. I am done negotiating with the far left. I'm done negotiating with Democrats. It is a battle of good versus evil, and the Democrats are evil. That is how I feel. Now, do I believe that the Republicans are good in every single way, that they've never made any mistake ever? No, of course not. But the Democrats are evil. They are the party not of the American people. They are a party who has very clearly and openly and proudly said that they are a party that believes in putting sexual predators in women's bathrooms. They believe in putting sexual predators in teenage girls' locker rooms. They believe in opening up the border and allowing the entire world to come flooding into our country. They believe that the hardworking American taxpaying people should pay for and subsidize the existence of illegal aliens that have no right to be here, in direct and open defiance of the democratic will of the American people. We have voted time and time again that we do not want these things. They try to do it anyway. They are the party that is currently aiding and abetting and playing coverage for and making excuses for far-left radical domestic terrorism and violent narco-terrorists. The Democrat Party, the Democrats, they are evil. They are evil. They are. You can say it's not Democrat, Republican. I don't really give a shit. It is. My entire life's purpose is now devoted towards destroying this ideology through means of peace and rhetoric, but every day I'm blessed. Every single day I get to wake up and dedicate 100% of my energy to destroying this ideology by means of rhetoric and peace. But nonetheless, that is the objective, and I will keep on doing that. Once again, does this mean that the Republicans are perfect in every single way? No, of course not. But if you want to look at a lesser of two evils situation, it's very clear who the lesser of two evils is, no doubt. And that's how I feel. That's how I feel. That's my personal opinion. Now, Given the Senate vote is done, folks, I think it's probably time to wrap up the show. I think that's where I'm at. It was frankly, it was kind of a weird day. It was kind of a weird day. Things kind of, first I had the tech issues, the technical issues, and then we had this very strange Senate procedural dynamic. That's the way that it goes, I guess. I want to say, everybody, thank you very much for tuning in today. Everybody, if you have not already, please make sure to like today's video and subscribe to the channel. When I said I'm very fortunate and blessed to be able to do what I'm doing every day, it's because of you guys. You guys, by tuning in and liking and subscribing and lurking and chatting and hanging out and coming back and tuning in, it allows me to do what I do. Without the audience, there is no show, there is no me, there is no broadcast. So sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys for being here. Every day, we are chipping away at taking the country back and putting an end to this anti-American subversive ideology. We're on full attack every single day, full steam ahead. So thank you all very much for being here. Even though it was kind of a strange day, but it was a good day nonetheless. Monday is just about over. Everybody, we will be back tomorrow. Full steam ahead. Come back. We're going to have more stuff to talk about. We'll be covering all the latest news. And until then, everybody, God bless. Have a great night. And thank you very much for tuning in. Take care, everybody.